Ma, so what is the light he was talking about? What is after death?
See, what we see as body is a covering, a cage to that light that is within us, which is called Jyoti, which is in other words called Atman. So it is the Atman in the center. Normally it is associated with its location as the heart center. And scriptures say its size is the thumb size.
In the form of light.
Light.
Like a jyoti.
And the size of that light, the concentrated light, is the size of the thumb and the shape of the thumb. Scriptures say this. So that is the Atman, which is covered by 5 layers, which is called Panchakosha Tattvas, which is the main focus of Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad, the whole Upanishad talks about these Panchakoshas. It's called Panchakosha Viveka model for us to understand what we are. So it talks about Annamaya Kosha, the first one, second one Pranamaya Kosha, then Manomaya Kosha, then Vijnanamaya Kosha, the fifth and the final as Anandamaya Kosha. So what is spiritual practice? Any practice you take up, name any. It is a journey from your Annamaya Kosha backwards, inward, crossing through your Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya and then go beyond. Many people interpret as Anandamaya as the final one. No, it's not true. That is a state of experience, that's which we call state of bliss. After that, there is further journey.
Right.
So this is when we are in the body doing our practices. Same way, after we leave our body, what is death? Death is separating your prana from your physical body. What is this physical body? It is a combination of 5 tattvas, Panchabhutas. Most of us know about it. What is death? Death is separating your prana from the body. That's why we say, iska pran chala gaya.
Pran.
Pran.
Ma, is pran soul?
No.
It's not the soul.
Not at all. Many people say like that. It's not.
So what was okay, 1 second. What is the difference between the soul and the prana?
That's what. Only when you segregate and understand, you understand the difference.
Right.
Normally, now what is body we understood? Made of 5 tattvas, elements. Now comes the next layer of our existence is prana. In prana, it is actually called life force in English. It's not the prana that we talk about as carbon dioxide exchange of oxygen, which is called inhalation and exhalation. That is a coarse breath, a material which is not as subtle as prana. So prana, the exhalation, inhalation is also part of prana, but not only prana. Prana is higher, bigger, subtler. But what in today's medical world doctors have been able to touch upon, scientists have been able to touch upon is only that part which is called carbon dioxide and oxygen and limited to the lungs. But prana is the very vital force which performs all the activities of your entire physical body, taking care of your organs, taking care of your lungs, taking care of your oxygen, carbon dioxide, everything. Even the so-called brain is functional because of this prana. That means your very existence is prana. But that doesn't mean that it is Atman. It is the Atman which gives the strength and the power for the prana to be active in the body. So what is that Atman? That Atman is an aspect of the universal energy. It's called universal prana. In Samskrita, in Srividya, it is called Mahaprana. And when we die and the prana leaves the body, it is still connected to the Mahaprana, which is above your Sahasrara chakra. It's like an antenna. It's like the light which travels in the ambulance. It's rotating, right? It's going wherever they want. So similarly, wherever we walk with this physical body, that antenna also comes along with you. It is unseen, which yogis are able to see and connect with that. That's how they connect with us, through that prana. I had the experience of Mahaprana, which I have shared in the, I don't know whether it is the first book or second book.
So just to better understand, one is Atman and the other is the soul.
Atman is the translation of the word soul. Prana is different from prana.
Okay. So Atman is the soul. Okay. One is
Dictionary meaning.
Okay. So one is soul and the other is prana.
Prana.
Right. The prana is the jyoti which is of the thumb size and which is near the heart. Right? Right.
No.
Then?
Prana is different from light.
Okay. So is the prana what you said is near the heart and is thumb like? No. So I'm confusing.
Prana is in your entire body. And this prana is connected to the Mahaprana constantly. That is why when we declare a person being dead, because that prana, which is taking care of your very existence of your body, he has left the body. And the body is no longer functional.
The prana is made up of?
I would say in a different way. This Atman is nothing but your individual consciousness. Prajna. To sort out your confusion. This consciousness is Atman. What Atman is consisting of? How do you describe it? Atman is nothing but your consciousness.
Soul is the consciousness. Okay.
Prajna. In Sanskrit it is called Prajna.
Okay. So my soul is the consciousness. I say
yes.
that my conscious is not allowing me. That is my soul is not allowing me. Just to understand.
See, when they say my consciousness is not allowing me, it is not the right expression.
Okay.
It is just a habitual understanding with which people use it.
Right.
But when they say like that, that doesn't mean that they know or experienced what consciousness is.
Sure. But the soul, the Atman, what we are referring to, we are giving it a name as
Actually, you are referring to
consciousness.
your mind when you say like that.
Okay. In like a layman language.
Yes.
Okay. So one is Atman, which is your consciousness, and then prana.
So, when we talk about consciousness, we talk about the prana. We talk about that. It is described in the Upanishads that prana is considered the closest existence to the Atman or consciousness. Closest companion, you can say. I'm trying to simplify it. So, when you talk about consciousness, you cannot experience it without the help of that light. And that light can be experienced only with the help of prana. Because prana, in the yogic language, prana is the connecting link between the physical body and the mind. Connecting link. That's why pranayama is given to you. That if you want to connect with your mind, which alone can understand what consciousness is, then you have to work on your prana.
Right.
Otherwise, for ordinary people, those who don't do any sadhana, for them what is prana? Exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen. So, which we call breathing. So, for ordinary layman, death means stopping of this exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. that the lungs have stopped working, heart has stopped working, organs have failed. That's why the person is dead. But in yogic language, in Sri Vidya language, that is not death, total death. Because there are 10 pranas. Prana is one, but prana is one, but according to the functions, different functions in different parts of the body, they are given different names.
Got it.
Okay. So, basically, the major ones are 5 pranas. Prano, dana, vana, udana, samana. Connecting to their locations. Again, I repeat, prana is one. But they have 5 dimensions.
Right. And different parts and different functioning
parts,
as well.
They are functioning, but they are all connected to one prana only.
Right.
And that prana is connected to Mahaprana.
Okay.
Like
and
the
Mahaprana
antenna.
is out of
the body.
Got
Yes.
it. Right.
So, these pranas, when they are trained through some practices, then they become higher prana. It's only for convenience sake we are understanding. Refined prana. The prana which has a larger range of the remote. See, some remotes are used only to operate the fan.
Right.
That cannot be used for operating your TV. And for the TV, you have a certain distance within which you have to stand and then operate. Otherwise, you are out of range. Similarly, to tune yourself to higher realms of connections with the energies, prana is the only way. When you work on your prana, the prana gets refined in such a way that it is capable of connecting to higher realms of experiences through the mind. Where, because of the prana, mind attains a stage called higher mind. That higher mind is very close to the light. So when the higher mind gets connected to that light and experience of light, that is called self-realization.
Right. I'll just put it in a very simple way. I know that it is not, you can't put it like word to word and you can't understand it like that in a literal sense. But just for somebody
Yes,
who's
we have to make efforts.
Yeah, for somebody maybe who's a beginner who's maybe listening to this conversation for the first time. So I want they're also able to connect to this conversation, even if they hear this after maybe 10 years. So, soul, right? So we say, so our body has Atman and Prana. Atman is the soul, and soul we refer to as consciousness.
Yes.
Then we have Prana. Prana is the closest companion to the Atman, closest companion to the soul. And eventually we have, body has different prana, which is responsible for different functioning, but one is the main center, and that's it.
That's it.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. So when we say that प्राण चले गए, प्राण कहाँ चले गए?
So before telling what it is, I told you there are 10 pranas.
Yeah.
Let's not go into the details of it.
Yes.
After the prana has left the body and the body has become immovable, dead, right? And it starts working towards decay. And then it gets dissolved in Panchabhutas. At that time, the prana is still in the body. The prana has not left out of the body completely. The main prana, which is called prana, only has left. There are other subsidiary pranas. And the last one is called Dhananjaya. Name of the prana is Dhananjaya. That is the last part of the prana which leaves the body, for which it takes about 2.5 hours, maybe a little more than that. Until then, the prana is very active in the body. But for normal operators or for the doctor, it cannot be experienced. Because body is totally frozen. So there are some instances where people say in some remote village, the person was declared dead and then they were put on the firewood, and when they were about to lit it, that man woke up and then got up and said, I have come back.
I've read about it, yes.
And they have stories that Dharmaraya did that and then got confused. Well, it is a metaphorical way of telling the truth.
Right. But how can we understand this with the last prana which you
Yeah. Because in that whole process, 2.5 hours, the last prana is yet to leave the body. Probably it leaves through the anus. I am not very sure. If I am wrong, people can correct it on their own. So when it leaves, it takes that much long time. That means you are not actually fully dead.
For 2.5 hours.
Maybe a little more than that. So in that period of time, many yogis do this miracle for their disciples where they come and catch that last prana which has not left the body. If the last aspect of dimension of the prana named as Dhananjaya also leaves the body, then yogis also say I cannot do anything about bringing this person, dead person back to life. So they catch hold of that prana and with that they can pull all the other pranas which has already gone into the universe
Wow.
to join the Mahaprana.
Wow. So a yogi can make a dead person.
That is how they make
Alive.
the dead alive. Otherwise there is no other way.
Is there a documented incident in the past? Who maybe a yogi who came and who did something like that?
But how do you understand this? Because it all happens in silence and subtle plane. Eyes cannot see this. But what it can see is that the man dead declared came back to life.
But how do the yogis do it? What do they do? Is this
And
a,
for that you have to develop a different range of understanding and work on your, you have to do sadhana. Otherwise there is no other. Maybe in course of time science would stretch its capacity so much that they are able to show it to the world how it is done.
did ever Swami Rama talk to you about an event like this?
Actually, he did it for my husband. That's how I know. Yeah.
Oh. This happened in front of you.